What is up, everybody? It's May the 1st. 1st of May. And I always thought to myself, I've not done a Q&A in a long time. There were times I tried to do another Q&A, but then at the last second I was like, you know what, I'm not in the mood for this right now. But here I am. I used to always do Q&As every month in 2016. But now that almost everybody who subscribed to me knows a lot about me, there's not many new things they could ask me these days. I did manage to find 25 interesting questions that would actually be very nice to share. Some may be things I most likely have answered in the past, but there's been a number of new subscribers to my channel lately, so I figured why not show them what I got. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for always being here for me, whether you're new to the channel, whether you've been on the channel for a couple of years, or whether you've been here since the beginning. Let's dive into the questions, shall we? We got, who do you think will carry WWE after Roman? By the way, love from Bangladesh. Oh, you see, before I answer your question, that's the one thing I like as well. People saying love from this country, love from that country. People are like telling me, nobody cares about you, man. You're not that good looking. You're not popular. You know what? If I'm not popular, that's fine. But the fact that there's even one person in any country, from any part of the planet, that is what means the world to me. Warms my heart, so thank you very much. Now to answer your question, who I think will carry WWE after Roman Reigns? Honestly, I don't know. I once asked the same thing about John Cena. And I was like, I can't figure out anything. So, can't figure out anything for now, but it's okay. For now, let's just enjoy the ride that Roman Reigns has got, and we'll figure out what's going to happen afterwards. Okay, as a sufferer of depression myself, I must ask, how do you cope with it and what helps you overcome it? Love your channel, stay optimistic. Well, Will Darden. Coping with depression comes with a lot of different ways. You had to think of the positives, maybe do something positive, talk to somebody, or do what I do. Sometimes you just have to open up. And if you're not ready to open up with that sort of things, that's okay. That just goes to show sometimes people are just not ready, or that's just not their thing. And that's perfectly fine. No matter the case, coping with depression is one of the toughest things that I've ever done in my life, and I still do fight it to this day. Just do what you can to be positive, talk to somebody. I'm pretty sure you got friends, you got family, you like hobbies, anything you like to do. Go ahead and try it, because I think it will do very well for you. Okay, are Sins videos still a thing you want to do in the next few years? I asked myself that same thing a few years ago. Here I am. I'm still doing them. As far as I know, I have a lot of WWE pay-per-views left to do. I may also consider actually just start transitioning full-time into WCW pay-per-views, maybe after I'm done with the WWE library. Because right now, I try to get into WCW sins, but there's so much stuff going on right now that I haven't covered yet in WWE. I've done 250 WWE pay-per-view sins, but I'm thinking before I expand myself to something else, I should really try and finish another library first. You know what I mean? I just hope that when I'm done doing the Sins videos, whenever that is, or however it happens, I just hope that I manage to cover every last WWE pay-per-view of the past so that you can immerse yourself in everything that we've been through over the years. We're not there yet, so let's continue having fun, shall we? What is your favorite Marvel movie? Marvel's been crazy over the last 10 years. Actually, let's be honest, ever since 2008, it's been outstanding and crazy with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, stuff like the Avengers. And then even in other universes, you got Morbius. I'm just kidding. That movie was a piece of shit. No, my favorite movie still is Spider-Man 2. My favorite Marvel film is Spider-Man 2 of the Sam Raimi trilogy with Tobey Maguire. Because Tobey Maguire is still, in my opinion, the best Spider-Man. And it was amazing to see him back in Spider-Man No Way Home along with Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland. That's something I never thought I would ever see. But it was cool to see that. But yeah, Spider-Man 2, still my number one favorite Marvel film. What is your opinion of AEW and the current age of WWE? Also favorite and least favorite pay-per-view. Okay, that depends. I'll answer the first question. My opinion of AEW and the current age of WWE. One doesn't coincide with the other. Just want to point that out, folks. I'm not a guy who's on the sides, or you're either on WWE side or you're on AEW side. No, I'm not in this whole fake war that people on social media come up with. People saying I shill for this company or I'm shilling for that company. For the record, anybody who tells you that you're shilling for a company is likely shilling for the opposite side, so don't even worry about it. They're basically insulting themselves. My opinion of AEW, I've been finding it quite entertaining. They obviously have a lot of flaws and they really need to work on a lot of things, but at the same time, so does the WWE. They have a lot of flaws. They need to work on it. It's a little too deep to get into right now, though. I will say, though, in the end, both AEW and WWE are highly entertaining, and I'm looking forward to WrestleMania Backlash next Sunday and Double or Nothing for AEW at the end of the month. And also favorite and least favorite pay-per-view. My favorite pay-per-view is the Royal Rumble. My least favorite pay-per-view, are you talking concept or an actual event that just happened? Because if we're talking actual event that just happened, I'd say Crown Jewel 2018. What was your favorite brand, Raw and SmackDown, growing up? Growing up, my favorite brand was SmackDown. Especially in the days of the Ruthless Aggression era, where Brock Lesnar, Big Show, Kurt Angle, John Cena, and the likes, and Eddie Guerrero were mostly on the domination section. These days, I don't really pick. I just enjoy the shows now. But growing up as a kid, that's a good thing you added in growing up, because kids usually like to have a different viewpoints. Some prefers this brand, others prefer that brand. You know, I'm a guy who likes both shows. I enjoy it very much for what it is. Sometimes they have flaws. But you know what? They always have flaws, but sometimes they're just not that good. And you know, that's okay. It happens. Okay, any dream vacation spot or spots you've always wanted to visit but haven't yet? And thank you for the endless years of content as it got me through countless downs of my life. I love you, my dude, and God bless. Well, God bless to you, too. Vacation spot. Yeah, here's a fun fact about me. I'm absolutely terrified of spiders. You know exactly where I'm going with this. My dream vacation spot is Australia. I have always wanted to go to Australia. You know, a lot of people say they want to go to Paris, France. Others say the UK, Ireland, maybe Japan. I want to go to Australia because it just looks so beautiful over there. And they got a lot of wildlife, a lot of it pretty toxic wildlife out there. But honestly, in my opinion, nothing could be more... Like those animals in Australia, they may be toxic, but nothing could be more toxic than people on social media. So it probably wouldn't bother me that much, but I'm deathly afraid of spiders. That's a fact about me. Besides Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25, what else would you consider to be your most favorite WrestleMania match of all time? I like a lot of matches that happen at WrestleMania. But maybe I would probably put it in place and say Triple H and The Undertaker, the Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania 28. That was absolutely fantastic, and that should have been the event where after The Undertaker hit 20-0 on the undefeated streak, should have retired, and so should have Triple H. Both of them should have retired after that match, because at that point, it would have truly been an end of an era, because that's the end of their careers, and that was the perfect end of their careers. What is the fate of the Quicksins? Will they ever return? The Quicksins was short-lived. Short-lived. It happened for a month or something in late 2021, where I did, Quicksins of Raw and SmackDown, and I just ended up releasing them 45 minutes to an hour after the show just aired. The reason I stopped doing it is because they just added additional stress on my part and anxiety. Because, I'm trying to watch the show, but, I'm posting. I was literally watching the show and typing on my computer at the same time. So it was causing a little bit of problems on my part. But, I decided to myself, the Quicksins was never going to last. So I don't think here's the thing, if you're hoping for a Quicksins return, I'd recommend you breathe. What is your favorite pay-per-view or premium live event? First of all, I will say premium live event, it's a funny name, but people are just making fun of it. They're like, pay-per-view, premium live event. And here's the thing, if you're still making fun of it after this past January and everything, you honestly need to just grow up and move on. Here's the thing, if something bad happened, I would probably make fun of it for a day or something, and then I just move on. Or in some cases, an hour, and then I just move on. But that's because, I don't live in the past. I don't just do that stuff. That's not me. Anyways, what's my favorite pay-per-view that took place in Canada? If you're talking about that, are you talking about ones that I've attended or things that have actually happened? Because if we're talking those that actually happened, I'd say WrestleMania 18 in 2002. I was not attending it because as a near 6-year-old, I was too young to go to that stuff. My mom wouldn't let me. Mama Miracle, she would not let my brother and I really watch wrestling when we were kids. So at the times when we watched wrestling, we were actually, sneaking a peek every now and then. But yet we still managed to keep up with everything that was going on. So eventually it worked out. But if we're talking an event that I've attended in Canada, then I'd say SummerSlam 2019. Not just because of the quality of the show, but because of the fact that I was with family members and friends. From Mama Miracle to Long Neck Josh, who came up all the way from Virginia, and I got to show him Toronto. He got to see my place. It was amazing. Best of both worlds. And it's just an experience I'll never forget, and it was all because of my family. That's the best part about it. That's why SummerSlam 2019 was my favorite pay-per-view that took place in Canada when I was attending. Could you please include me in the next Infinity War? I used to do reactions in your videos years ago. Well, why'd you quit? I'm just kidding. If you quit, you probably wanted to do something else. You know, people don't always do the same thing. As for your question, include me in the next Infinity War. Who knows? I don't even know if there is going to be another Infinity War. Do I even have the popularity anymore to summon all these creators and say, hey man, I'm coming back for one more Infinity War. I'm bringing all the wrestling YouTubers together. Shall we do another Sins video once again? And they'll probably say, well sure, but just make sure your brother doesn't die this time. Favorite past and present SmackDown and Raw Women's Champions? Well, honestly, if we're talking past, can't go no further than 2016 because that's when those titles were made. The Raw Women's title was created WrestleMania 32 in April 2016. The SmackDown in Backlash in 2016 as well. So we're talking it's not exactly a long lineage. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say favorite SmackDown Women's Champion would probably be Bayley. Bayley was highly entertaining as the SmackDown Women's Champion from 2019 to 2020. Outstanding, especially the heel one. Face one, not so much. As for Raw, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, when she became the man and she beat Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, that was awesome. If you have a chance to redo your life, will you change it or stay the same? And top 10 musicians / artists, any genre and any time. Well, I'm just going to let you know right now, I'm not doing a top 10 list right now, okay? However, I will say my favorite musician / artist, I like Queen and I like Led Zeppelin. Would I change stuff in my life? Honestly, no. You know, if you ask me when I was down in the dumps and really ready to just ended all of my depression, then maybe I would have said yes. However, thanks to a lot of people and someone very close to me, they helped me understand that just because bad things happen in your life doesn't mean you should go back and change it. Because if you go back and change one thing, you might end up tearing apart everything that you know about life, and you're no longer the person you are now. You may not have met this person or that person. You may not have gotten this if it hadn't been for that. So let's just take this moment and be thankful that we are here. Because if we go back and change even one thing, life as we know it, gone. When are you going to debut on Grimm's wrestling channel? Oh, good. People are still asking me that. Haven't received an invitation. I don't think I'm ever going to receive an invitation, and if that's the case, then maybe I'll just have to invade the place one day. I don't even know where it is. I know it's in Jersey or something. I don't know. Or it's in the Bronx, or it's in New York. I don't freaking know. Grimm and I are cool. Send the occasional text message on Twitter or something like that, or retweet each other's tweets every now and then. But am I going to debut on his wrestling channel? To be perfectly honest, I didn't even think his wrestling channel was still a thing. But it just goes to show that if you just keep having a lot of faith in what you do, then you're going to make it. Do I see myself arriving on Grimm's channel one day? Never say never. Favorite heel / face superstar from WWE? Heel. That's a tough one. There's been a lot of great time heels out there. From The Miz to... There's so much to think of. CM Punk. There's also Shawn Michaels. Honestly, I'm just going to say Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper, in my opinion, was the original heel. Granted, there were probably heels before that, but Roddy Piper, man, was one of the original heels that were severely entertaining to the point where people just wanted to see more. Face, however, that's also a tough question. For now, I'll just put in maybe... See, I can't even think that one. There's so many to think about. I guess we'll never know. Sorry. Okay, how do you get those cool opening songs like Money Vision? Wait, what? Wait, there's an open... I've done quite a lot of intros on my channel. I need to look back. Did I ever do a song called Money Vision? I did this. Kill Switch. On lap. Where did Money Vision come from? I don't recall doing something like that. I think you might have me confused with something else entirely. I'm sorry. But I would just say, On Lap, I'm partnered with them in a way. Every time they release a new song, they send me an email. They say, hey, look, we got a new song. You want to promote it? And then I'm like, if I put up something interesting, then yeah, I'll definitely promote it. I've been promoting a lot of songs from OnLap over the last 6 years, and I'll probably continue to do so because they're a great French alternative rock band. Go check them out if you haven't. Do you prefer when wrestlers have short but multiple title reigns or one long title reign? Honestly, that's also both sides of the spectrum can be controversial, because if we got short title reigns that don't last long, but they've had so many, you got yourself like a Charlotte Flair. She's won like 13 or 14 championships over the last 6 years. That's over double the amount of 6. But then, of course, if you have one long title reign, for some occasions that'll work. Like currently, Roman Reigns is over 600 days into his Universal Championship reign, and it's been fantastic. But then you got someone like Shinsuke Nakamura, who's been 2-time Intercontinental Champion. Both the reigns were horrible because he barely did anything. He barely defended them, and he was always like, I don't know, like in the background. Listen, being a multiple-time champ at the same time means you're a multiple-time loser. How long does it take to edit the Sins videos? Well, that depends. Is it a pay-per-view Sins? Is it a mini Sins? Because if we're talking mini Sins, I'll say a day. Pay-per-view Sins, a few days. Sometimes the pay-per-view got to be split into multiple parts, and I'm doing half of them in one video and half of them in another video. Or I did the 2-part of WrestleManias. I worked tirelessly for almost 2 weeks on those ones. The stuff I do for you guys, it's amazing, right? Favorite wrestling entrance theme? Great job in your videos recently. I think talking with your fans is a great idea. Well, thank you for saying talking with you guys is a great idea, because that's my favorite part about doing YouTube, is interaction. Favorite wrestling entrance theme? Always The Undertaker. The Undertaker just has that feel to it that you always get, no matter what era it is, or when he's doing it. It's just something about The Undertaker. Favorite TV show? I don't know. It's okay. It's okay for saying I don't know. A lot of people keep talking about wrestling-related questions. They want to know less about me and more about wrestling. And that's okay, honestly. Favorite TV show? I like 2.5 Men. It's my favorite comedy show. But if we're talking other things like reality, lately I've been binge-watching Hell's Kitchen, because I'm a huge fan of Gordon Ramsay. I've seen Hell's Kitchen, I've seen MasterChef, I've seen Hotel Hell, and Kitchen Nightmares. The whole shebang. Oh, this is interesting. Who cares about you, Christian Miracle, or your so-called depression? Well, since you care to comment about it, clearly you do. I don't think that's you in the image either, because that guy looks good looking. There's no chance that's you at all. Do you plan on seeing a wrestling show outside of North America anytime soon? Well, if I want to go across out of North America, I don't think it's just going to watch a wrestling show, because if I can do that, here's the thing. I don't go because I want to, experience attending a show elsewhere. I go because I want to check out the place, If I have an opportunity to do that when it's coinciding with a vacation that I'm on, then I might buy a ticket for that. But let's be perfectly honest, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Used to wrestle. Were you a heel or face or tweener? I thought of myself more as a face, but at the time I wasn't really into it. I wasn't doing promos and I wasn't doing characters as much. I was just hanging out with friends and having wrestling matches and having fun, screwing around, and then I messed up myself, because I wasn't fully trained for it. Perhaps if I go back into the ring, things will be different. Besides watching wrestling, do you watch any sports like basketball or football? I watch hockey. But occasionally, I might watch some football or baseball. I'm not much of the sports guy. You'd have to talk with my brother Joe, because he's more of the sports guy in my family. And then, of course, there's Long Neck Josh, who loves basketball, football, and baseball. So he's the guy to go to with that. All right, last question. Christian, I hate WWE budget cut releases, don't you? I still upset WWE releasing Braun Strowman. Okay, yeah, Braun Strowman's release last year surprised the hell out of me. I don't like budget cuts either, but unfortunately, they're just part of business. It sucks, and it's unfair, but honestly, business is like life. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's fair, sometimes it's not. What's important is we just gotta keep going forward no matter what. Honestly, I enjoy these questions. I had a good time with this. Sometimes I feel like I'm reading the same questions over and over. That's why I rarely do Q&As anymore, because most of the time people just ask the same question, and I don't think that's on them. It's more of like, either they're new to the channel and don't know, or they just can't think of anything else to say. And that's okay, because, we always have our different ways of looking at things. But I appreciate you guys very much, and I appreciate doing these types of videos, and I'm also thankful once again for the support you give me on the depression videos. The next episode will be releasing this upcoming Thursday, and it's a severely difficult subject for me to talk about. In the meantime, folks, we got a stacked week. Losers Lounge Podcast is coming back this Friday. We're talking WrestleMania Backlash. We're predicting the event, and may have a couple Sins videos set up for you guys, because, well, I want to get yourselves ready for Backlash. Until then, thank you for watching this Q&A, and always remember to think optimistically.